Very good afternoon to you, Colonel.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. बताइए.
हाँ, so आज हम ये थोड़ा सा वार्तालाप आपसे करना चाहते हैं. Welcome to the NSHM Knowledge Campus, and we actually are very happy to have you here today. And we would like to know quite a bit about what is this Fostac program that we are all eagerly awaiting for.
Okay. I'll put it this way. Safety is very important in food. And if it is not safe, it is not food. So to start with, we have to ensure whatever food is available, that is the due process of manufacturing, logistic, and it can finally ends to a terminal consumer. The safety has to be taken care of. So Fostac training program is basically a food safety training program. And as per regulations, it is very important that we have to have a food safety supervisor, especially in particular type of businesses.
Okay. And Colonel, another very important issue that we are talking about here is food safety is a very important part of a person's health also.
Yeah, it's one of the major contributors of public health.
Public
Preventive health care starts with that.
starts with that. And as I am come also to understand that the restaurant and food industry is the second largest employer after the government. Am I correct in stating that?
I will not say only employer, but everybody has to eat food. So that's the vastness, and at least 3 times a day. So that is the frequency. Now, activity generates business, and
Correct.
business cannot be actually quantified in number. So that's the spectrum at which we are looking at.
Wonderful. And who are the kind of students or participants for these programs which your FOSTAC program would offer?
Is for undergoing this fast track training, graduation is one such requirement, and
Okay.
it can be from any stream. So that's how anybody who is into business with some experience and performing a role of supervisory capacity. So that person has to have a qualification and some experience. So that's how we are putting it.
Okay. So if I can just repeat it for everybody's benefit, one must be a graduate and one must be in the performance of in the food industry, whether it is
Yeah,
in production or in the real restaurants
uh,
and fast
uh,
food.
I will tell you. It's like depending on kind of business and kinds vary. It can be like processing, manufacturing, storage, logistics. Then it can be catering. Catering again has a different field. So it's a very vast and segmented kind of businesses you have to be in. And based on kind of business, we have training which is basically advanced and specific. Because basic remains same for everybody. Advanced and specific vary depending on kind of business.
Okay. I've understood the eligibility and the kind of students who can actually apply. So you are saying a vast number of students can approach and go through this program.
Yeah.
Also, Colonel, if you could tell all our viewers, which are the different kinds of programs or certifications which are under FOSTAC?
Yeah. Fostac, as I have already said, that it is a training which is related to food safety. So we have broadly classified into three parts. One is basic, then it is advanced and specific. Specific is related to some specific risks which are there, and these
Okay.
businesses are specialized by its nature. As far as the basic and advanced is concerned, the basic is the stepping stone into business, and advanced gives you some more exposure. To broadly talk it out, like catering can be a basic catering course and advanced catering course. So that's how the segmentation is, and we
Okay.
cover different type of businesses.
Okay, so obviously it has different business connotations, and also so there are basics and then there are advanced. So and by doing this certification, how does the student benefit? Because when we at NSHM look at student profiles, they are trying to do a value-added program which increases their skills and the
Absolutely.
industry requirements. So how does FSSAI play a role in this, and how is it going to benefit the student community?
Yeah, it works like this. Like if you are FSS, that is Food Safety Supervisor course qualified,
Right.
then firstly you are making a meeting one basic legal requirement that every business should have this FSS qualified person to oversee safety aspects. So firstly, it is legally from business side. As far as student is concerned, it gives him or her a value in the sense now somebody has done this assessment that a person is competent to perform these functions. So that is how it is very, very important because in food there are different subjects in which safety is a core. An entire industry of food relates itself to a risk which are associated. And if you
True.
can eliminate this risk, and this is exactly the role of FSS to see that nothing should go wrong. You have
Ah,
to follow standard protocol and procedures. So it is very, very important.
okay. And could you also elaborate and help our viewers also listen to what other areas does FSSAI? I'm sure we all look at packaged food which we buy in the shops. It has a FSSAI
Yeah.
registration, right?
License. I
License.
will tell you how categories are. There are broadly two categories. One is central license and second is state license oblique registration. So
Okay.
license is up to a business which is having an annual turnover up to 12 lakh rupees. From 12 lakh to 20 CR is state license.
Okay.
Below 12 lakh, it is state registration. So these are two categories at state level. In case of central, is about 20 CR businesses are having a central license, and that is what basically regional office or I look into. There are central
Okay.
registrations also for central government institutes.
Right. Okay. And so that is how the entire procedure of FSSAI licenses work.
Correct.
And
Correct. These
you
are
have
broad parameters. There are
brought
classifications depending on risk also. Certain
one.
high risk businesses like slaughterhouses or 2 MT and above packaged drinking water bottling plants. So they come to central license directly. Then
Okay.
all import licenses, irrespective of turnover, are central licenses. So it depends on turnover, nature of business, risk which are related to that business, and how it is contributing to overall safety. So again, it comes back to safety and
Safety.
volumes.
Is it part of the Eat Right initiatives that FSSAI has been strongly recommending?
Yeah. Eat Right initiative is a flagship program. We started in October 2018, and last 2 years plus, we have been doing a lot of activities. And we have graduated, that is operationalizing Eat Right initiative to Eat Right challenge, wherein we have selected districts and corporations and we are fully funding this program, that is 5 lakh rupees each. And we are ensuring that certain verticals, that is enforcement related activities, then lab testing facilities, IEC activities, and specific programs are run under this Eat Right challenge. So this
Okay.
is a challenge for leadership, challenge for the supervisors, challenge for all stakeholders. And we are calling it as distributive leadership. That it is
Wonderful.
no more central program at national level. The district magistrate, the municipal commissioners, they have to come in, join. And there is a huge role for education institute for awareness programs. That is how it is.
Colonel, a few things, doubts which came up. When you said
Yeah.
graduate, these participants can be graduate from any stream,
Yeah, graduation criteria. We are not
any.
fixed it up further, no.
Okay.
Secondly, let me put it in other words also. In food industry, I'm not talking about Fostac now. I'm talking about food industry. Every branch has its own role, right from your arts graduate, commerce graduate, You can be, food blogger also. You can be designer also. Like hospitality industry, there is a role for all designers. All these national institutes where designing takes place to design dresses of various food handlers, costumes. So everybody has a role. It is not always about food. Means it is nutrition and safety. The packing matters, and packaging is what sells. So, and it is packaging what sells. So, you have people from advertisement industry. And one more interesting thing I would like to highlight. Most of the factories where I visit, we do have sizable number of engineering graduates and other branch graduates in industry leading those factories. So let us not fix food safety to only food technology or one biology. No, it's not like that. It is
No.
all over science graduates, arts graduate, commerce graduate. So it's a open system.
Open system. Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's a, I think that's a
Yeah.
common myth we might have. That's a, thank you for that clarification. Another factor is, are there any scholarships which are available for attending these programs, or how does it happen?
No, Fostac program is a very, very, I will say, customized program for a business.
Okay.
So it is like 4 to 6 hours basic program. Earlier, we used to have practical also as a part of this module, but due to COVID situation, we are avoiding that lab training and it's online program. So in
Okay.
which COVID related training is also part of this module. So it is just 1 day program that is basic and maybe 1 day specific that is 4 to 6 hours. And there is a scope for basic as well as this advanced program to get combined also, provided those many hours availability of student is there.
Uh-huh. Okay,
So it's
that's
a very
interesting.
short program. Yeah, it's not a
Short
longer
program.
program where scholarships are it. And it is
Right.
online, so you can appear from home also. You don't have to go
Home.
anywhere.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, what would be your important suggestions for, you have tried, thanks to FSSAI, Colonel, and the Fostac program, that today I think NSHM is taking this flagship program in East India. So,
Yeah.
what would you suggest as the thrust area that we should have to enable more and more people to be part of this certification?
I will talk about two sectors and segments. Basically, catering is a huge sector. So, right from street food vendors up to 5 and 7 star hotels, we have homestays also. So many types of different entities in this. So, catering is the one which we should focus on. And
Okay.
second segment, which I will say manufacturing, because that is where your processing and manufacturing is the initiating part of the system. So both these are very important, and that's where our thrust should be. The third area, in case subsequently you would like to get in, is the transportation and warehousing. So these
Warehousing.
three sectors out of 19 specific program, I would like to focus you on. There are other programs also which are very, very risk related, which we have not talked about. Is frozen meat and meat products and poultry industry, dairy industry, for which there has to be definite understanding of these subjects. So those will be a very, very specific and a segmented program. But
Segmented
there
program.
also you have a possibility of collaboration with. I will always encourage that get tie-ups with associations. Like we have slaughterhouse association or some dairy industry association. That is where the ecosystem lies, and that's how it can be integrated. So
True.
these are my few suggestions.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I think that is very valid because, uh, I mean, Calcutta is a hub for foodies.
Yeah,
And all kinds of food is available, and it's pretty cosmopolitan. And if we can begin with the right segments and our approaches to the right segment,
yeah,
we can make this awareness build up. And as you rightly said, we can move it forward to production as well as storage as well as logistics, because the pandemic has created a lot of what I understand as cloud kitchens and a variety of areas.
yeah.
So these could be very, very critical. The other
In
factor which
fact,
I
uh,
want,
in fact, in fact, let me relate it to pandemic. In pandemic, we saw two kinds of trends. Lot many businesses moved on to e-commerce platform. So it is very important for students to develop understanding how e-commerce platform works. So that is one kind of business on which we are like all these commodities are being sold. Secondly, now classical those restaurants, there is a very adverse impact due to COVID. But it has also given up, as a byproduct, certain innovations.
true,
So this is one area I want students to focus on. What has changed from classical or traditional catering to innovative solutions? And that is where probably market lies.
very true. Uh, Colonel, so I, as a student, I undergo the Fostac. So would FSSAI also give any internships or any practical areas for me to use my skills?
No, there is some confusion in concept. These
Okay.
are just 1 or 2 days programs. So based
Okay.
on that, it cannot be done. Internship as a standalone mode, 4 times in a year is available. Now
Okay.
there are two types of internship which FSSA look at. It is 4 to 6 weeks, firstly to begin with. Secondly, it is flexible in the sense we are not concerned with your only last year examination and then taking it off. It is available for last 2 years, like 4 years course, so third and fourth year, both year we are ready to accommodate you. Then
Okay.
round the year, that is 4 times in a year. Secondly, now division is for policy related matters. The internship will be done in Delhi. For operational oblique field matters, it is done in a regional offices.
Okay.
So we welcome students for this internship and we provide them guidance and some basic facilities and
Facilities.
basically access to industry and various laboratories.
Okay.
So we are opening up this internship program very soon. It has been put on hold due to COVID, but very soon we will see internships opening. So it's not actually related to Fostac, it is something else.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice too. And
Yeah.
usually students also have this feeling that if I undergo some kind of a certification, will I also have to undergo an examination or an
Yeah.
assessment?
Absolutely. Without assessment, like we have to test. So
Right.
at the end of even fast track training, there is an examination which is there on a G suit.
Okay.
So students, we generally say that it would be better in case they can log in on laptops and computers. It's
Right.
possible on mobiles also, but generally we encourage. So that's how it is.
Okay. And I saw somewhere something called SNF. Uh, would there be something which you would like to share with all of
Yeah,
us?
that has evolved into Eat Right School program. SNF was earlier the old nomenclature. Now, what
Ah,
we have come up with the concept of Eat Right Campus, and Eat Right School is part of that Eat Right Campus.
okay.
So, here we do uh, some certification of a place, and that place has to follow certain rules and ensure certain standards. So this is our program of Eight Right School Oblique Campus. Campuses cover a very vast types of places. It can be right from a single tea room or a samosa point up to a corporate office where 10,000 people are working and depending on some canteen premises. So these are campuses we are looking at. And what concept was? At home, everybody is ensured generally by a lady there who is cooking and mother who is very, very extremely sensitive to child's requirement. But at place of work, generally we tend to eat outside.
Right.
So if we are encouraging in a campus such facilities and we improve these facilities to follow certain norm, then your probably both ends are secured. That's how the concept goes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. One final question which I have, this initiative that FSSAI is taking with NSHM How do we see it going forward?
There is always a roll on plan, and this is one stepping stone, and I'm really appreciating Institute for that. Now, once you are into training is part of capacity building. And why it is required? Because in our strategy, there are four pillars. First is sharing of information, public knowledge. Second is capacity building, where you are helping us out and it is mutual. Third is that hand holding which is required. And fourth is enforcement. So, firstly, you are part of our strategy as a strategic partner. So, let me put it that way. Now, coming to how it graduates into operational aspect is once you gather sufficient experience and once you are in your capacity to want to further grow in system, you can assume a role of auditing partners. That is, we have two types of auditing agencies. One is hygiene rating audit agency, which is a certification program from 1 star to 5 star to all kinds of catering and manufacturing businesses. So that is one segment you can focus. And second is third party audit agency. This third party audit is mandatory as per regulations. So that is where I would like to see Institute very soon as our auditing agency, that is HRAA and EPAA. Yeah.
That's
So I
wonderful.
wish Institute all the best in its venture, and thank you so much for
Thank you
giving
so
me
much, Colonel.
opportunity and time.
Thank you so much, Colonel.
Thank you.